Me gang, Tony here. It's that time of year when I suddenly reappear on YouTube because, hey, what do you know? The flea market and yard sales are in full swing. It's been rainy for like, I don't know, past week or two, on and off. And I really only just got out for the first time this weekend. I think I hit a yard sale maybe a little bit back. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I got today. And I'll do that first and I'll just jump right in so I don't bore anyone. But if you're interested, if you want to stick around after I show you what I got, then I'll kind of tell you what I've been up to and what to expect from the channel coming up, if anything. And just, kind of like a recap because I haven't been here in what feels like months. I think is fairly accurate. So not anything crazy today, just mainly anything that caught my eye that wasn't super expensive I picked up. So I grabbed this VHS copy of Love at First Bite, which is kind of cool. The tape is kind of cool because it has this red top to it. I thought that was pretty neat. The tape, so funny thing, I'm walking down the aisle and I see this guy taking out huge tote bags of VHS tapes, and there's this buyer who I recognize from my years of doing this as someone who also buys like video game stuff and VHS tapes and things like that. So he's kind of after the same sort of stuff I am. And I saw him hovering there grabbing stuff. I'm like, ah, damn it. So I went over and I didn't like butt in or anything, but I kind of stood back and waited, sort of waiting my turn. And he was grabbing like the horror stuff. But nothing like super rare, right? Like I think he got a Chucky tape, not one of the old ones. It was like one of the, not Child's Play, like Chucky. I think he got the Terror, which I have a copy of. I don't know if any of these things are worth more money these days. I honestly probably would have passed on most of that anyway. So I dug through some of the bags. It was mostly common stuff. I didn't see anything crazy that I thought I had to buy. They only wanted $1. And I'll be honest, I was so tired this morning that in my head, like after I bought this and I put it in my backpack and I was walking, I'm like, did I just buy Once Bitten or Vampire's Kiss or Love at First Bite? Like in my head, all three of those titles just melded into one. I couldn't figure out what the hell I had just purchased. I didn't remember until I just checked what it was. But yeah, I don't think it's not like an expensive tape or anything. This didn't happen like right after, but just because it's a similar item, another table had a bunch of Betamax stuff, and the only thing I bought there was a sealed blank Betamax tape because I thought, that seems like something that was worth buying. I don't know. All the other Betamax they had were like, they were movies that seemed like they were taped off of other tapes or taped off of TV or something. None of them had like their original packaging, and I don't really deal with Betamax too much. If something really caught my eye, like I've purchased horror stuff before, but nothing like that was there. So that was all I got at that one. This next batch of stuff, like pretty much all this next stuff I'm going to show you, is from one booth that had a ton of just random little like bins of toys. It was mostly fast food stuff, like the fast food toys and things. But a few items caught my eye, and they were like super cheap. They were like $5 for $1, and then they were telling me I could take like some of the paper stuff for free. So I ended up spending I think about $4 there because a couple of items. I don't remember how it came out to that, to be honest, but it seemed fair enough. So I was like, all right, we'll go with that. All right, so I have one of these. You might even kind of be able to see it right there. It's another one of these gargoyle tombstone slideshow things that like you look through the viewfinder and you press the little, and it shows you a little slides. I think it's the same one. I couldn't remember in my head what color the one was that I had at home, so it was like however small amount of money I forget to grab it. What else we got here? Got a little Eggman car. They had a few of these, and I love Sonic and Sega and all that stuff, so it's just one of those little wind-ups. I probably should have tested it. Yeah, it seems like it works. Whatever. So he's a fun little guy. And then we got... I don't think this is super old, but it's a Super Mario Brothers... still in the package. It's from China, maybe? And I'm not entirely sure. I think you're supposed to put water in it. I think it's one of those water... like a water thing. Water game. I don't know if you're going to be able to try and make that visible. It's kind of hard with the inside the plastic. But they had a couple of those too. I think these... I don't think these were like Burger King toys or anything. Yeah, I don't know. On the back it shows that there are a few different varieties of them. But it seemed like a cool one to get. And then this was just fun looking. It's a little robot games, kind of pull the thing, try to score with the... I don't think I'm speaking English. I'm noticing that I'm just blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. I have a splitting headache today, and I got up at like 5 a.m. I didn't get much sleep. This says 1996 Wendy's, so this is a Wendy's toy. I don't know what robot game, if this is referring to anything. I just thought it was cool, so I grabbed it. And frankly, so this was an extra $1, like on top. The other things were like, what did I say, $5 for $1. So that was, I guess that was technically like $1 there-ish. But then she brought this over because I was getting a lot of Burger King Kids Club stuff. And this was specific to the Burger King Kids Club. But it says on there, Burger King Kids Club. And collect all whatever they are. I honestly, I think it's a toothbrush is what it looks like. So like the plastic part, that's a toothbrush, and then the head is one of the characters of the Burger King Kids Club. I know it's really hard to tell with my stupid lighting, but that like clips off. It protects the bristle, so that like a travel toothbrush. So that was an extra $1. I thought I have stuff like this that I would send away for sometimes, so I kind of like that. These next two items are the ones I am most excited about. They were from the same booth. They're not fast food things. And I mean, like out of everything I got today, weirdly, these are the things I'm probably most excited about. I saw this one. So the first one I saw was this. It's the Joker candy, the little candy dispenser thing. So when you'd go to during like 1989 when Batman came out, they had Batman everything, and there was candy in here, and they had the little display right at the register, and they would just sit there, and I spotted that. I'm like, oh god, and they only wanted, maybe these were 50 cents each or something. I don't remember. And she goes, oh, did you see Batman? I'm like, Batman, you got the Batman one too? And she snagged it out of some other box. I'm like, oh, awesome. So I got both the Batman and Joker candy dispensers from, I think it was from 1989. It could have very well been the second movie when these came out. I don't remember. I don't think they have the date on here. Well, maybe they do. 1989. Okay. So the first movie. Yeah, I just super excited about that. I was like, because these are those types of things. Like, I would love to get they have a lot of different kinds for, I think there are Gremlins ones and stuff. Oh, I would love to have all these. These I'm probably just going to even leave out on my computer right there. It's like, very nice. Okay. And then, like I said, there were a ton of like paper things that I grabbed from there too. She sort of just shoved this in my hand. It's like, here, take a bunch of these if you want. I'm like, okay. They're all the same. There's 4 of them, it looks like. And they're just like these McDonald's Mystery of the Lost Treasure pamphlets. So, like I said, 4 of those. Looks like a coloring book sort of thing, maybe, or a little activity book that you might have got during one of the promotions. I'm not that big into like collecting. This is from '93. I'm not that big into collecting fast food stuff, so I don't really know much about that. And then the rest of these are Burger King Kids Club adventures. Oh, there's more of the. Oh, is this one different? Oh, okay. There's actually another one of these, and there I have 3 of those, and it's Mystery of the Missing Seahorses. And again, just kind of like these little activity booklets. And on the back, little puzzles and stuff. Pretty neat. So then now the rest of these are Burger King Kids Club Adventure magazines, which are some really cool ones in here. There's one especially that I'll save for last to show you all that I think is clearly my favorite, and you'll see why. But I grabbed like 1 or 2 of each one. Looks like I only got one of these with, what is this guy's name? Bonkers? Is that what that is? Yeah, Bonkers. And they're just little, again, they have like mail away things on the back and some information stuff on the inside of those. I'm not going to show you every single one, like all the way through, but I'll just show you the ones I got. So we got Bonkers. And what else we got here? We got a Happy 1993. Looks like I got just one of those. And we got some hockey one. One of those. We got a Little Mermaid one. I suppose they had one of these for each of the, like, at Burger King, like, whatever the toys were going to be, I guess. It looks like I only got, like, 1 of each. I could have sworn I took, like, 2 or 3 of each one. I guess I didn't. Got an Aladdin. They had, like, a few of each one. I didn't want to be an ass and, like, take everything. Although they were sort of, like, saying just take it all, but I'm like, I don't know. Go crazy. Got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one, which is, I'm sure, coveted. And we got... Oh, I have 2 of these. Got 2 of this one. Just like a general adventure sort of theme, it looks like. These all open, but the video will be far too long, and I'm sure you're not that interested. Oh, here's a couple more Bonkers ones. So I guess I did grab a couple of each. So I think you already saw this one. Got a couple more of the Bonkers one. Got a couple of these. I don't remember if I showed you these yet. That's just kind of like the gang, the Burger King gang. A couple of those. These all have volume and issue numbers on them too. I haven't really been paying attention to what they are. A couple Lion King ones. They have like a mask cut out on the back of those. Alright, let me see really quick. These look like Volume 5, Volume 5, Volume 4, Volume 3. Alright, so the oldest ones are Volume 3, it looks like. And then this was the one I was holding back. I grabbed all of these, and you'll see why. So I have 4 of these, because I was like, well, yeah, I'm taking all of the Halloween one. Yeah, of course. Got a little Goof Troop action going on there. I'll show you all the way through on this one because it's Halloween related, so I have to. This is also Volume 3, Issue number 7. I don't think these, I mean, I don't know if these are worth any money or anything. I just thought it was kind of cool. Got a little parka giveaway thing in the back there. And on the inside, I can't see. Spooky Witch. Halloween safety tips. Got some goofy stuff. Back down there. Alright, pretty cool. Could have been a bit Halloweenier, but those are all of the paper items. Sorry, you probably can't hear me very well. Those are all the paper items that I got. And that leaves one last item. I always like to save the, like, best thing last. So this, before I show you what it is, I went over to a booth, and a woman, just as I get there, this happens so often to me, just as I get there, the woman picks this up and she's staring at it. She's looking at it. She's checking it out. And I'm standing there, I'm like, son of a bitch, oh God. I'm just like, trying not to be like creep. I back off, I give her a room, but I, like, out of the corner of my eye, I'm watching, I'm like, oh God, she's gonna buy that. That would have been cool. And then, like, this never happened. Once someone has something in their hands that I want, usually they buy it. This time she's like, puts it back in the box. I wait a beat. I let her leave. All right, she's definitely not taking it. Okay, I pick it up, and the guy only wanted $1. Look at that. Pretty cool. I have things like this. It's not super old, all right? I mean, I'm thinking 90s, maybe even early 2000s. But this sticker, I have other things like straight up flashlights with this sticker on it. And I have other just like standalone these kinds of heads. There's a switch that I didn't even bother trying to switch on because I'm assuming it's got a dead battery in there and nothing's really happening with that. The label is mostly intact except for right there, unfortunately. It says batteries included, safety light, and it is the B, and it's still filled with the candy, which looks a little worse for wear. I couldn't find a date on this, but I was like looking at the plastic on the bottom, and it had that sort of like yellowed with age look to it. And I know, like, this part of it, essentially, like, from here to here is the flashlight. Like, once you unwrap this, this comes off. And I know I have whole flashlights like this, not on the tube of candy, though. It's like they're in a bag, but they have that same sticker. So I know that these lights were sold like as standalone without the candy as well. And I always had the impression that they were sort of 90s feeling. But yeah, I don't see any dates on this, so I can't be sure about that. But still, pretty cool. Buck, you know, it's obviously right on my alley kind of thing that I would buy. And that, my friends, is everything. Now, if you want to stick around, I do have a bit of a story regarding a yard sale that I hit after this. So some items that I saw there I'll tell you about. And then if you want to stick around after even that, I will tell you a bit about what's happening with me and what's going on with the channel and all that. Okay? If not, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. For those of you sticking around, all right, so I went to a yard sale after this, and they had two really cool things that I'm not sure if I regret not buying them or not, to be honest, but I feel like I probably should have anyway. So those two things. One was a big box, in the box, Grim Reaper, Motion Eddy kind of looking thing. 2000s era, so it's a newer thing, maybe even like 2010s. It looks fairly new. They wanted $10 for it. I don't know if it works. It doesn't have that old aesthetic that I like, and it was kind of big, like big, like the box was like that ish. And I was just like, I've been burned on things like that before, where it's like, oh yeah, it works, and you get home and it fucking doesn't work. And I kind of knew like it wasn't something I would want to keep. It was something I would want to sell, and I don't have time to sell anything lately. So and for the $10 especially, I'm like, eh. The other thing, I definitely should have bought. The more I think about it, the other thing was a ColecoVision with all the hookups, the controllers, like 5 or 6 games, and they wanted what was it? It was like $50, I think, $50 or $60, and so listen, it's definitely worth more than that. I mean, if I bought that, I probably could have sold it for like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really deal with stuff from the 70s that often. I feel like $150, $200 maybe on eBay, depending on the game, like what the games were. They look like mostly common games like Donkey Kong and things like that. I was really like, I'm standing there looking at it. I'm like, $50. I didn't really have 50 with me anyway, so I would have had to like haggle to get it. I have this like rule where like I try not to buy stuff that I personally don't want myself, just in case, because I don't always have time to sell stuff. I really don't have time to sell stuff lately. I've been very busy. So I was like, I didn't buy it. I feel like I probably should have at least haggled and see if I could get it, and then just like dealt with, But I knew I wasn't gonna hook it up and play it myself. I knew it wasn't something I wanted, and I haven't been selling stuff for a while now. It's been years since I sold anything on eBay. So that was my decision. You guys can call me an idiot. I know that like it's certainly worth. It was worth the buy, I think. I'm just looking back here. I'm like, there's stuff behind him, some blow molds I got like last year that I really bought to sell, and I just don't have the time for it. So speaking of, what have I been up to? For those of you who really want to stick around now, so I've been working, writing the scripts for Retro Days still. So those Retro Days episodes, if you like to watch those, I hope you check them out. They're always a lot of fun. But now that it's summer session, my summer class starts this week. Like, was today's Sunday, so on Tuesday I'm already back at work after like a barely a week off, it feels like. I'm teaching one summer class, which does give me a little extra time because it's only one class. So I'm going to try to be working on my novel. I really want to finish that this year, hopefully quickly. I would like to finish that within like the first half of the summer. And then I had an idea for a novella that I started writing. I kind of like just got down like what I had in my head just to have it down, but I don't really want to touch that until I finish the novel. So the novella is tentatively called, I think the title was the first thing that I came up with, like as I was laying in bed at 3 a.m. one night. I'm like, I started thinking, that's how ideas come to me. I'm like, when I'm just laying in bed and can't sleep, and I'm like start writing stories in my head while I'm laying there, and then if I have the energy, I'll get up and jot down notes so I don't forget it. So the title is The Thing About Horror Club. The Thing About Horror Club. And sort of the gimmick of the novella is that every chapter starts with the thing about and then something. So the first chapter is the thing about high school is, and then it goes on, and eventually we get to the thing about Horror Club. I have a vague idea of what that story is about, but it's something I really want to flesh out, outline form, and pre-writing before I like actually sit down and write it. So I got a little introduction and all my notes down for that, ready to go. But first I have to finish the novel, which does not have a solid title. Still doesn't have a solid title. Been calling it like the Horror Times, or I think I changed that even to something else at some point. But that's the one that's about a group of high school friends who show up at their school one morning, and there are stacks and stacks of this like student-made zine called The Horror Times. No, The Terror Times. There it is. I can't even remember what I call my own friggin' stores. That's pretty sad, isn't it? The Terror Times. And slowly the administration starts, like, for some unknown reason, the kids don't understand why they're being so strict about it, but they start confiscating these magazines from everyone and trying to get all the magazines away from the kids, and they are assuming like there's something in there that is like either not suitable for children or teens, or that is just inappropriate in some way. So then they go on, and obviously everyone's trying to get a copy of this thing to get out of the school with. So there's this whole thing about like trying to get out of the school with it, and slowly, obviously, they start to understand that there's something more about this zine that showed up out of nowhere, and they don't know who wrote it and where it's from. And there are like all these old stories about how it used to be around a decade ago and then disappeared. And slowly figure out that there's something more to that. So that's the novel. That's kind of like the vague teaser synopsis of the novel, from what I remember, because I haven't written that. I've been working on that in months now, since last summer, really. So I'm gonna be working on that. I am gonna hit some yard sales. I'm gonna hit the flea market, and if I have the energy and have stuff that's interesting enough, I'll shoot some videos out, and I'll see if you guys want to still show up and watch these videos or not. I feel like most of my social media presences have been so underutilized by me. It's my own fault. I don't really use social media as often as other people do. The algorithm like starts to sort of like not show you your stuff to people as often. So like even though I'm tweeting on occasion or using Blue Sky or doing Instagram or doing a video here, it feels like people don't see it as much as they used to. But I'll still shoot the stuff out there for those of you who want to check it out. Otherwise, I think I made a video about this, but if you're still here, it means you care. So I do have my novel, Soundtrack to the End of the World, has been republished with Crystal Lake. So if you want to check that out, that is now more widely available. And there is an audiobook for that too that has been out for a while. And what else? That's about it, I think. This is going on for a while, so I'm going to stop. I hope you all have been doing well. Say hi in the comments. See if you're still around. Otherwise, I'll catch you all later. Have a great one. Breathe deep of the night. That's that thing that I used to always say. All right, bye.